Guys, and so if there's any technical difficulties, I'm sorry in advance, but let's just do it anyways. Hi, I'm Nelson. Welcome to another Webflow Workshop. This is going to be a fun one. 5 tips to help you guys learn a little bit more about the Webflow Designer tool. Okay, I've been seeing a lot of common questions like the ones I've listed in this description box below and also on the forums. I've been seeing stuff like, hey, how do I style my rich text blocks? And how do I do more with rich text embedding? And other stuff. So yeah, we're going to go through these 5 things as well as your questions, and I'll answer them, of course. And then we'll look at some of the projects you guys are working on. All right, so let's get to it. Actually, first, as always, I want to say hi and thank you guys who are in the live chat room right now. Thank you so much for joining me and taking some time out of your day to join me and the rest of the community. All right, so thank you again for coming back to Prashant, Nav, Robert, Jake, Uber Geeky, Anna, Vladimir. Welcome back. Of course, the community expert moderator, Alex, welcome back. And a special hello to Jeffrey, who is Robert's friend, who is new to our community. So thank you guys for coming in. So let's do this. First thing I want to show you guys is how to style rich text blocks for dynamic content. So I see this a lot on the forums and also on the trouble tickets that or help scout tickets that we get at support@webflow.com. And so if you haven't played around with rich text, here's what I mean. So what I'm doing right now is I'm dragging in a rich text blocks onto a static page. How do I know this is static? It's because this is the home page. It's a white colored icon. And that means that this is static. There's no dynamic content within it. Okay. So this I can I can select a class within this rich text element, or I can select this guy right here, and so forth. So I can style these however I want on a static page. But what if you are on a collection template, okay, where the rich text, if I drag in a rich text here and I get the text from blog posts, okay, notice I cannot select anything but the whole rich text block. See right here, I can't select anything. Now let me go back to my home page, okay, and now I can select each of these. Well, the reason for this is because here you're setting the you're giving a class name to the entire rich text blocks on a dynamic template, okay? Now, how do you style the stuff inside of it? Okay, so here's how you do it. Here we go. Sorry, I was just reading the chat room. Alexandra is saying, is it just me or the quality of the image is not very good? Again, new software. I'm using the XSplit software instead of OBS because I was having some issues this morning, and so hopefully it'll get better soon. Try to set your YouTube stream bandwidth setting at the bottom to like 1080 or something, 1080p. All right, moving on. So you click on so I'm going to go to a static page, and here I'm going to click on the rich text block and give this a class name. So I'm setting a class name for the whole rich text block. So I'm going to call it RTE, or rich text element. Okay. And now when I click on, say, a heading 2 right here, okay, I'm going to notice how I cannot make a class name for this, but I can select a tag. And then here you get a new option, nest selector inside of RTE. I click that, and now any styles I do here for this H2 only happens while it's inside of a rich text block named RTE. So let me give it a different color. Webflow blue. Let's go ahead and change this paragraph. Same thing. I'm going to select the tag. And when it's nested inside of RTE. And then I'm going to change this to a different font. Make this a little bit bigger. Let's say 18, 24. Change the color a bit. And there we go. And now, when I go back to my... Now I've set the styles for the static version. Now I can go back to my dynamic collection right here and give this a class name of RTE. Now you see what happened? My paragraph changed. But this one isn't an H2, so that's why this didn't change. But I can easily change that if I go to my blog post, select all of this, change it to a H2, save it, and now it changed. Okay? So, I'm able to set all my styles on a dynamic template page by going to a static page, dragging in a rich text block, and setting my styles here. Okay? Now, for some people, they're also asking, what if I want to style an image within the rich text block? You would just do the same thing. For example, I would go in here, double click inside my rich text element, and press enter, and now I got this plus sign. I'm going to click the plus sign, click on images, and then I'm going to select any image. I'm going to choose this guy, Chuck. And then I'm going to select him. Oh, let me select out of it. What I want to do is do the same thing as I did with the paragraph. So how I do it is I click outside of the rich text block, and then I'm clicking on my image. Cool. So now I'm selected on this image right here. Okay. So I'm under the rich text editor, and I have the image inside of the rich text editor. So now if I go back to the styles and select all images and nested inside of RTE, now I can set some styles to it. For example, if I go like this, say 10, give it a weird border like that. And now if I go back to my dynamic template, there we go. I've set the styles for any image that is within the rich text editor to have a blue border. Okay? So that's how you play around with rich text blocks in a dynamic content. So let's recap. Okay? So first, let me do it one more time for you guys. Okay? Let me remove this class name. And let me go here. And we're just going to call the new one RTE2 so you guys can see. So again, I'm going to first go to a static page, any static page, or even create a new static page on your current site that's completely blank. Okay? Drag in a static rich text block, and then give the rich text block a class name. So I'm going to give this a class name of RTE2. And then I'm going to select around inside of the rich text block to go ahead and change the styles for all H2 headings that's within RTE2. Okay? Change the color of this. Ooh. Okay. Let me click this. So now all paragraphs within an RTE. Change that. Change the color. A little bit bold. There we go. Okay. Now I've set all that, and let's go ahead and add in an image by double clicking inside of it, pressing the plus sign, adding an image. Now I'm going to click outside of the rich text block, or if I can go to the navigator, find my image, go back to the styles panel, click on all images within RTE2, and now I can style it however I want. Okay. Add a glow to it. Okay. So now I've styled everything again on the static page. When I go to the dynamic page, all I have to do now is click on the rich text block, the dynamic one, and click on RTE2, which was the class name I set, and there we go. All the settings for the H2 and the paragraph and the image within it get the styles that I applied from the static site or static page. Guys got it? Cool. Any questions? If not, we're moving on to some awesome stuff like rich text editor embedding. Welcome, Asar. Welcome for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Let's see here. Let's go to slidedeck.com. Nope, not slide deck. What's it? The LinkedIn one? Slides? Linked in, what is it? SlideShare, that's the one. And cool, we'll get this one. Cool. Not a problem, Anna. Hope it all makes sense to you. And we're gonna move on. Welcome back, Bob. We're gonna move on. I got this ticket from I forgot who it was, but they were trying to embed a SlideShare deck like this into their blog post, and what they're trying to do is take the take this embed code right here, take this embed code and put it in their rich text box, and they couldn't. And I said it's actually easier than this. You don't even have to use code, okay? Check this out. I'm going to, let's remove Chuck for now. Sorry, Chuck. And inside my post body, which is a rich text, I'm going to click the plus sign. And this third icon right here has a music note and a map icon. It doesn't really mean you can only put music embeds or Google Map embeds. Actually, it means you can put a lot of stuff beyond that. So paste link to embed rich content. All right, so check this out. All I'm going to do is copy this URL right here. All right, click my third icon, paste it. Press the check mark box. Watch what happens, guys. Boom. I have a slide deck in my rich text block. I'm going to save it, close it, and there we go. It's already working. So you can do a lot with the rich text editor. Here, let's fix this a bit. Let's add a container so it doesn't push off to the sides. There we go. Awesome. So I just embedded a slide deck just by taking the URL. Now, how does that work? Well, the magic is actually happening with this cool company called Embedly. So we're using Embedly. Let me see, Embedly card. Let me see here. Make a card for free. There we go. That's the page I wanted. Let me link this in the chat room. So what most of the things that you can add into Embedly, I'm going to say most because it's not all. But most of the stuff that you can put inside of Embedly, you can put into that rich text block. Okay? So Vine, Twitch, Instagram, you like all this stuff. What else? Let me see. Learn more. Where's their whole list? There's a whole list. I know there is. Come on, come on. Where's your full list? Cards, documentation, I'm guessing. No? Integrations. No. But yeah, if you can put it into Embedly, it'll mostly work inside of the rich text blocks. Let's see here. Twitter, Mirror's Edge. Let's try to get something. Let me see if this will work. I'm going to take a tweet and add it. Let's see what happens. Delete superhero guy. Click the third button. Will that work? It's searching. Oh, okay. So tweets are not supported yet. Darn. All right. But yeah, you can see what works and what doesn't. What else can we put? Oh, I know that Twitch can work. I've done that before. Twitch. Let me see. If I take this, Rocket League. Okay. I'm going to click my third button. Searching, searching. Oh, yeah. Plus button. Full size it. We got a Twitch embed, guys. Simple. Like that. No code needed. Sweet. Alright. Alright. So we're already at 2 things. Let's keep going. Next thing, will live stream work with it? Let's try. Who uses live stream? Live stream, does SpaceX use it? Yeah, they do. Try an archived event. Let's see what happens if I do this one. Good question, Uber. Let's all learn together. Alright, fingers crossed. Here we go. No, it's not supported. What about just the full channel? Checking, checking. Oop, I clicked out of it. Space X. There. Let's try one more time. Nope, it's not. Sorry. Yeah, it's like I said, most, not all, but keep trying it out and see what works for you. Yeah. And again, if you have a slash providers, thank you, Prashant. Providers. Thank you. That's the page I'm looking for. Yay. All right. Twit go. What? Quick, reliable, easy way to share images. Oh, okay. Yeah. So there you go. What else did they do for video? Wow. Probably Ustream works. I'm gonna say Ustream is gonna work. Ustream SpaceX Science. All right. Let's try this. All right, last thing on this rich text block. Come on! Yes! There we go. And of course, we're going to leave that one there. Save it, and cool. Sweet. There we go. We got a Ustream on there. Huh. We all learned something today. All right, let's move on to using VW and VH. What is VW and VH? Simply put, VW means VW equals viewport width. VH equals viewport height. Simple? Yeah. So what does that mean? What does that mean? All right, let's do this. Let me delete you. And let's go ahead and add a section. And we're going to call this section hero. I said, I put herp. Hero. And I'm going to add another section under it. And we're going to call it row 2. All right. So I'm clicked on my hero row. And I'm going to set my viewport height to 90 VW, no spaces. Right? See right here, 90 VH. Okay, viewport height, no spaces. I'm gonna press enter, and see now I added that VH, but that VH isn't part of the drop-down menu here, and that's okay because you can set it to whatever you want. Okay, so you can type in VH, you can type in the %, or you can click on it, whatever you want. Okay. Hello, welcome back, Blaze. Here we go. Hero is 90 VH, and let me show you. Let me add a color so you can see that happening. All right. So what does 90 VH stand for? It means that this is the viewport right here, my canvas size. All right. If I go from this top right here to the very top to the very bottom, that's 100% or 100 VH. 90 is only 90% or 90 VH of the height. Okay? So instead of trying to figure out in pixels how tall your browser viewport is, you can just set it to a VH and let the computer do the math. Okay? Oops, I'm playing around with the thing to show you guys. There you go. Bob asks, why is VH VW not in drop-down lists? It's one of those hidden advanced secrets. Yeah, it's one of those things that we still need to add, but you can still take advantage of it by typing it in. And the same goes with last week we were talking to Jason. He was saying, hey, you guys don't have M's. Actually, we do. You just got to type it in the typography. You can put M's. Oops, M. And there we go. It changes to EM right there. Okay, but I'm going to set it back to pix. Oh, wait, we do have it. I was joking. Okay. Whoa, 196. There we go. All right, so that's 90 VH. Okay. Yes, Vlad, add it to the wish list. And it's probably, you already understand what it is, but 90 VW is just the viewport width. So 90%, so that's 90, and there we go. Okay, but usually when you have something as a display block, it already goes 100%. So if I want 100%, I don't have to put anything for the width. It's already being done by auto. Cool. So that's VW and VH. Please add calc. Oh yeah, add that one to the wish list too. That would be good. A lot of stuff that you want the computer to calculate. Yeah, that would be nice. What's next? Any questions so far? I know you want to get to even better stuff. Okay, so next thing I have on my list is what is Open Graph? Let's do this. Open Graph. Facebook Open Graph. Where is it? No. Dang it. Facebook Open Graph. Debugger. And put this in the... I don't want to log in. Darn. Yep, you have to log in. Boo. Okay, so what is Open Graph? Anyways, Open Graph is that thing that shows up in social channels, like a tweet or Facebook. For example, if you put in a URL, so you put in a URL into a tweet, and you notice that when you tweet it out, an image, a title, and a description load up automatically. You know, it just pulls from the web page automatically. What it's doing is it's trying to get the most relevant image, the title of the page, and the most relevant description of the page. Well, in Webflow, you can set that up yourself. Okay. For example, if you go to the Pages panel and click on the cog for the settings, you can scroll down, and we have this Open Graph settings. Okay. Now, instead of letting the internet try to figure out what's the best title, description, or image to use in a tweet or a Facebook post or what have you, you can set it and force it yourself. So this is Webflow. Okay. Hello world. Smiley face. And let me get an image URL. Let's go ahead and let me save this first. Let me get the image URL by clicking on this guy, clicking on this, and now I have my full image URL. I'm gonna copy this image URL, go back to my settings here, set my Open Graph URL, and there we go. This is what my card would look like on some of the social media channels. Okay, so I'm going to click save, and there we go. I've set my Open Graph. So let's go ahead and try to publish it. Let's see, am I logged in? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to tweet and post, and maybe it'll show up, maybe not. Oh, there we go. It showed up. So see, I have the image that I set, and then my title and my description, of course, my link. And there we go. I didn't have to do much. All you have to do is go to your Open Graph on your page and set it. Okay. Now, if you want to set the same thing site-wide, you can by going to your site settings. Go to the SEO tab, and right here, this is site-wide, okay? So you can set your title, description, and your Open Graph image. Boom. Full control. And it looks like Vladimir has just learned something. Great. That's exactly what I'm trying to go for. All right. Oh, now Weed's back. Yay. Welcome. Open Graph, use it. Take full control of your site. Make sure that you are showing people what you want them to see when it comes to when they're sharing your site. Okay? All right. Let's go into the layer effect. All right, this one's going to be fun. Designer. Let's do this. Okay. All right. Oldie but goodie. History-web of animation.webflow.io. Oh yes, good point, Alex. If you seem to be having any issues with Open Graph, like say you change your Open Graph settings and you need to clear the cache that's showing up, like you're seeing an old Open Graph setting that you've set, just go to the link that Alex has posted. It's developers.facebook.com/tools/debug, and you can clear the cache from there. Okay? All right. So, history-of-animation.webflow.io. Really great site. Dang, I forgot the name of the guy who created it. I'll get it. But still, it gets me to this day when he does a layered effect, and it's so simple, and to me it's more powerful than any parallax scrolling that I've ever seen. Okay. Okay, back on Open Graph before I get on to this history of animation layered effect. Careless is asking, can you overwrite site-wide Open Graph for specific pages? Yes. So you have your Open Graph set on the SEO tabs for site-wide. And then you can go to each page and set the Open Graph for just those pages. And then the fallback would be the site-wide one. Okay? Try it out. All right, so this layered effect right here, this is going to be cool. Watch carefully. 1, 2, 3. All right. Cool layer effect. Really easy to do. There's no 3D transforms on this one, okay? But the other part that really got me is this one right here. All right, here we go. Now, be honest, if you haven't been to the read-only link of this site, be honest, how do you think this designer did this? It's because this part, I saw it and I was like, whoa. And then I mentally deconstructed it, reverse engineered it, and I was like, wow. Yeah. Okay, all right. Here we go. And if you know the answer, go ahead and put it in the chat room right now. And if not, you're close, Blaze. You're close. You're close now, Weed. Oh, you guys are so close. All right. Let me show you how. Yes, Blaze. There we go. All right. Here we go. I'm going to set this first row to 100 VH. So I'm going to do the Bugs Bunny thing first, and then I'll do the 3 layers second. Okay. Transforming a white black turning to color. Okay. Maybe we're talking about the same thing, but let's go for it. So this first row, I'm going to grab the first image, and it's this one. I'm going to set it to cover. I'm going to set it to fixed. Okay, what fixed means is that as I scroll down the page, this background image doesn't move. It doesn't scroll with the page. Let me give you an example. This is with scroll, and this is with fixed. Okay. So I'm going to set it to fixed. And now I'm going to go to this guy, row 2, and I'm going to give him a height of 100 VH. Give him a background image. Select my second image, set it to cover and fixed. And look at that. That's it. So simple yet effective. So effective. Let's do one more. I'm going to drag in another section under row 2. I'm going to give it a class name of row 3. Set my height to 100 VH. Background is the full colored one. Set it to cover, set it to fixed, and I'm done. That's it. Oh my god, so cool. I know. Super smart. That guy is clever. And so when I see clever things like this, to me, it's more powerful than any other interaction because it's the small things. The small things, for example, inventing a paperclip. It's a small thing, but it's so like, oh, I need that. It's Velcro. Oh, it makes sense. Zippers. Oh, Post-it notes. This effect right here, as good as Post-it notes? Okay, I'm just going too far now. But yes, that easy. That layer effect, that easy. All right, try it out. Find 3 images, or yeah, find 3 images and then play around with the 100 VH. Yeah. Okay. Yes, it gave me a huge smile too. Let's see here. Let's create a new page. Here we go. We call it layers. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna set a section here. I'm just gonna call it center and set my typography to center. I'm trying to recreate this guy right here. How would we do this? It would just be an image on top of an image on top of an image. And yeah, let me refresh, see what happens. Let me see what he does. It goes one like that. Refresh. Okay, there we go. Okay, so okay. So what it does, it starts at a, say, 50 pixels down from its original spot, and then it moves up. And then the other one does the same thing, and it moves up. And it seems to me like they're layered with a position absolute. So, yeah. Let's try that, shall we? I'm going to set this height to 100 VH, of course. And let's go ahead and position relative, because if I set a position absolute, I want it to be the child elements within this section. I want it to target this section rather than targeting the body. Okay, so I'm going to drag in my first layer. Did I put all three? Yeah. So here we go, Bugs Bunny. There we go. Oh, he's a big image. Whoa. Okay. I'm going to call this layer 1. Right? And he's going to be position absolute to the top left, and there we go. And then he's going to be Z index, which means I have my own layer, so I'm going to set that to 3. And let's go ahead and drag in the other ones, just to make sure I'm doing it correctly. Putting that in center. I'm going to call this layer 2, position this absolute, and set it again to the top left. Oh, he just made it super simple. He's using the same canvas. Oh my gosh, he's using the same canvas size for all three of these images, and he's just using small little interactions for the animation. Oh, this guy's awesome. Layer 3. Oh, I don't even have to give these each a different class name. I thought I had to, but I don't. Oh wait, do I? Just to make sure. You need to give that a layer 1. Oops. There you go. Layer 2 should have a Z index of 2. There we go. Oh. It's beautiful. Alright. So, I'm going to go to my global objects panel on the right, and we're going to set an interaction. So we're going to call this hide down 50 pixel. And what I mean by that is my initial appearance, I'm going to push down the Y by 50 pixels. Okay, so it gets pushed down a bit. And my opacity will be set to 0. And that's it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on layer 2 and set the same interaction to hide it and push it down 50 pixels. And then layer 3, I'm going to do the same thing. So all of them are pushed down by 50 pixels and hidden. Okay? And now what I'm going to do for this guy right here, the actual wrapper around the whole thing, I'm going to create a new interaction for that. And we're just going to give it a load trigger. Okay? Actually, let me name this load trigger. Alright, I'm going to choose the load trigger, and I'm going to wait for assets to load. And I'm going to affect different elements. Oh, that's why I need to give them all a different class name, because I need to affect different elements at different times. Okay, cool. So, Layer 1. So I only want to affect layer 1 on this page. Okay? I'm going to add a step, and I'm going to keep everything at 0 on the move, so that way it moves back to origin and opacity becomes 100%. And it takes 500 milliseconds to get there. So to preview it, there we go. Now just add another load trigger, affect different element, layer 2. I'm going to wait for the assets to load. That means wait for all the images to load into the user's browser before you start doing the load trigger. I'm going to add a step, and now on this step, I'm going to wait 250 milliseconds because I want the first layer effect to happen. And halfway through that first layer's animation, then I'm going to do the move to origin and opacity 100%. And done. And now for layer 3, I'm going to do a load trigger. And again, I'm going to select different element, wait for assets to load. And now for this first step, instead of waiting 250, so I'm waiting 0% for the first image. I'm waiting 0 milliseconds to load this animation. And then I'm waiting 250 milliseconds to load this animation. So this one, I'm just going to double it and wait 500 milliseconds and click new step, move to origin, and opacity 100. Okay, and I'm done. So let's check it out. There we go. So we did the layered effect. All right, so here you go. Here's the link, you guys. And here's the other one for the layers, so you can check it out. And of course, I'll be giving you guys some read-only links in the forums. And also in the description box of the recording if you guys aren't here for the live stream. And yeah. There you go. 5 cool things we learned right away in about 45 minutes. So now, let's get some questions. It seems like jQuery is having some trouble with the fixed background. Which browser are you using, jQuery? And yeah, if you have any questions, start posting them on the chat room right now. And if you have any projects that you would like for me to look over, put it in the chat room as well. Make sure that it's a webflow.io subdomain. Okay? So let's get to it. Yeah. Super fun, super easy. That guy, history of animation. The guy who did it, you're awesome. Let's close that. What questions do you guys have? Gosh, there's so much you can do with this tool. I mean, yeah, working for me on Chrome doesn't work on tablets, on phones though. Ah, okay. Yeah. When it comes to fixed backgrounds, that's the thing. Mobile devices, they have a hard time rendering fixed backgrounds, and so they just ignore that CSS property, or yeah, that CSS setting, because it takes too much processing power to do that. So until devices can do that, the fixed backgrounds won't work. They probably won't work. Vlad in Sacramento.webflow.io. I used VW VH. I use VW, VH, and EM. Oh, there you go. Cool. Boom, in your face. Can you combine VW and in interaction movement? Good question. Let's see here. Let's go check it out. Load trigger. Move to, let's say, move to 10 VH. Apparently you can. Let's see what happens. Ah, there you can. Look at that. Yes. Play around with percentage and VH and VW in your interactions, because they do work. You just got to type it in. Question from Naweed. If a Webflow site has a lot of content, what's the best way to load them on a page until pagination is implemented? Ah, great question. Yes, we need to get pagination working, but yeah, as I said, we're still working on it. You have to play around with typography. Make sure that you have a good type hierarchy and lots of white space to make sure that your pages don't look like everything is squished together and like it looks too busy for your eyes. Okay, so space it out. People will scroll down. You just got to make it nice and pleasing to the eyes and make sure it's spaced well enough. Okay. Can we embed endless scrolling from GitHub? Now, good question. You can embed any custom code you want, but pulling from a dynamic collection, you cannot do that because it's what we call it a flat file CMS. So the dynamic things that are happening actually happen when you click on the publish button, okay? And then we render it as a flat HTML file. And so that way, when your web users come to your site, it loads up as quick as a non-database type site, okay? So that's why it's so quick, because it's just a flat file. There's no database being hit. All the database stuff is happening in the back right here when you click on the publish button, okay? So you can't really do endless scrolling, but you know, there's a lot of stuff we're trying to do on the CMS. So, you know, if you post it on the wish list, we'll do our best to get on it. Let's see here. Can you check on the new site on the red tag also? Sure. Click. Oh yeah, I seen this. Great job on this. One thing I would do is I would keep this as a vector image if it isn't already. Yeah, it's a vector image. I don't think you need the Apple logo. They get enough marketing anyways. So keep it as general as possible. You know, it's just my opinion. You don't have to change it. But I like how simple this is. So keep it going. Very nice. All right. Why can I not post a link to my Webflow site in this chat? Jake, please post a link that has a .webflow.io link. And also remove your HTTP. Yep. Let's see here. Question, is it possible to log in with Facebook account to any Webflow based site? Not sure what you mean by that. Akif? Not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, not sure. Jake Bentley, here we go. Nelson, can you give me some feedback? Sure. Wadowski-law. Wadowski? Jerry Wadowski. Whoa, whoops. My mouse. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to take it all in. So, okay. So, first thing is I feel like this address right here, not sure if it needs to be there because it's really getting close to the logo. Okay, so these two things are competing with each other right now. Of course, I'm going to look at the logo first, and then the address is, I feel it's uncomfortable being here. Okay, and I think I know why you did that. It's because you already have these three things here. What would I do? Ah, okay, these two are relative. This and this, because if you want to go to this lawyer's office, you need to know the dates, the days and times that they are open. And so what if you have a second bar down here in between the image and this brown bar, and you move those two elements down? So that way you have more space around your logo, and these two are relative to each other, and so they have their own bar. They have their own row. Okay. Moving down where the clients come first. Okay. I like that. It's like, that's the mission. I like that. Storytelling first. Okay. And good on you for not using a stock image of people handshaking and whatnot, because it's so cliched and played out. Like, oh, where clients come first, handshake. This one is different. I like that. Good job. Okay. All right. So you got him here. Good. Good. You want to keep that human interaction going. Good type hierarchy. More space in between these two guys right here would be nice. You know, it's kind of reading a little bit too close to each other. Because look at, you have nice spacing between these guys right here. But when you get to these two, it's kind of too close. A little bit more spacing. Not sure what's going to go there. All right. Again, more space, more space. I would play around with different kinds of blacks. Okay. For example, if I were to take this color P and push it down to like 3. No. 4s. 6. Am I doing anything with this? Interesting. There we go. Okay, so something's moving. 7? 9. Oh, yeah, duh. Okay, so see that slight change I did? See how this header comes out even further to the eyes than the paragraph text? That's called playing with type hierarchy. Okay, so you want to make it where if someone's just scanning down the page really fast and they're looking for settling an estate, they can just quickly go through, and not everything is black, and so they see this right here and like, okay, cool, I got it, now let me read into it more. And they're reading this one. Okay, I got the information I need. So play around with different blacks, different colors to make the header stand out more than the actual body copy or the paragraphs. And there we go. This would be cool if there was a link, I guess, for the telephone. So if you click on it, you have the telephone. Oh, and we have one right here too. Yeah, so you did it for here, but not for here. Just a thought. I would make this form not full width because max width of 650, margin 0 auto. Actually, let's get it 25 more there. So something like this. Okay, it doesn't need to be full width, just keep it contained because it's a form. If you ever see a form that's full width on a piece of paper, it just feels like it's too long, so you want to keep it short. Okay? All right. Great job so far. Keep it up. You're on a good track so far. And who was that? Akif. Was it Akif? No. Jake. Yes, Jake. Good job. Alexandra, how to convince a client to change from free WordPress CMS to a paid one? Yes, great question, Alexandra, and one that I'm really happy to answer. Okay, here we go. WordPress, okay? Yes, it's free. But the themes, the templates and the themes and the platform itself, it's very, very reliant on plugins. And so in order to do something like SEO in Webflow, you can just set your SEO using the page settings or the SEO site-wide settings instead of using a plugin. Or you can embed stuff without using a plugin. And so with WordPress, you have to rely on plugins so much that if a plugin breaks, you have to figure out how to fix it by probably fixing the code or contacting the author of the plugin. And if it's a free plugin, well, you're kind of out of luck because most of the time they don't respond back to any trouble tickets because it's free and they're just doing it on their spare time. And another point is when you're using WordPress, you have to figure out what kind of host that you have to use. Will the host be up 100% or 99.99% of the time? You know, at Webflow, you can tell your clients you're being hosted on Amazon web servers, super secure Amazon web servers. Your sites are backed up on Amazon web servers. And if they're like, but what if it goes down? You can just tell them, if Amazon goes down, there's a bigger problem on the internet than just your site, okay? A lot of people's purchases won't go through. A lot of people watching video won't get their live videos, their Amazon Prime Video working and stuff like that. So it's a huge deal, and they have a lot of servers to back up their sites. All right. Also, you're on Fastly.com. What is Fastly? It's a CDN. And you can check it out. It's Fastly.com, and just watch their video and see what it's all about. Okay, so there we go. Non-reliant on plugins, and every time you have to update WordPress, you have to download it from WordPress.org and then upload all those files up through a FTP and hope that those plugins don't break. Right? The ones that are already on your template, you got to hope that it doesn't break. Whenever Webflow adds a new feature, what do you guys got to do? You guys just got to log in and like, oh, cool, got a new feature. Awesome. We've updated the platform on the cloud. Just like how your phone updates apps while you're sleeping at night. You just plug it in, leave the Wi-Fi on, and there you go. So would you rather update a platform manually or let us do it for you automatically? And then the Amazon backup servers and Fastly. There you go. Write all those down. And I'll write them down for you. Because again, those are the three biggest things I always tell people who are like, WordPress or Webflow. And, WordPress got us to a great place in CMSs. But now we got to move forward and evolve it. Oh, okay. Last thing. The CMS. If you haven't tried the Webflow CMS versus other CMSs, yeah, do that now. Okay. I'm off my soapbox. I'm done. All right. Let's get 2 or 3 more questions. How would you handle multi-language site and CMS? Yeah, that's something we don't have yet, but if you want, you can use something like Bablic. What's it? Bablic localization. Yeah. So Bablic.com will translate sites for you. Did I do that right? There we go. But yeah, it's something that we know people want, and it's something really far down the road, but we want to make sure that we do it right, as with everything else. Nice question, Big 351. I designed a site. I created a members area. Could any Facebook user log in with based on. Oh, okay. You want to create a members area? Yeah, we don't have that yet. I haven't tried personally putting content behind a user authentication plugin like Facebook offers. But yeah, you might want to ask that on the forums and see if anyone has found a workaround. If anything, you can export your design static pages, the static HTML, CSS, JS, and images, host them on your own servers, and try to do some user authentication in that way. Alexandra, you don't have to convince me. I love Webflow. Problem is convincing them. Yep, but I'm giving you some tools, some notes for you to take down so you can convince them. And if they still can't be convinced, then, you know, it's like, for example, WordPress's Chevy making the Bolt, their electric vehicle, versus Tesla making the Model 3. The Bolt doesn't get any updates after you buy it off the lot. The Model 3 gets software updates. So after you buy it off of Tesla, you still get new things as you pay for the car. Yeah, just saying. Everything has to go back to Elon Musk. I might be a fan. Anyways, now wait, I'm building a site in Webflow for a big client in San Francisco, moving them from WordPress to paid Webflow. The marketing team liked the fact that they can change the website. Yeah, cool. Yep. Webflow A+, yes, security, multi-language. Web Designer says, I had a hard time for linking categories to subcategories, creating multiple categories and linking them to each other. And the last, are you using the multi-reference and the single reference things? And what I mean by that is, let me make a categories thing right here. Create collection, new category, food, music, and then, so are you using these guys right here, the reference and multi-reference? All right, last question. I'm going to take it from Alexandra. For when a serious solution for e-commerce. Yeah, so e-commerce, we do have that in a way where you can use dynamic embeds, and you can just search that. Look for Webflow dynamic embeds on Google, and you'll find an article, or you can go to our help center, help.webflow.com. You can put in dynamic embeds, and it's right here. So you can connect Shopify with Webflow. Actually, on the forum, someone actually did that. Let's go here. It's under show and tell. Yeah, so someone already did that. So good job to Bonsai Kitten. And here we go. So I'm going to get a purse for myself. And watch this. I'm going to click on it. And there we go. I have a shopping cart. So this is all in Webflow. For Web Designer, ask your question on the forums, because it might be a longer answer than I think. But yeah. I know it'd be great not to go through Shopify. Yep. And that is something we are working on, to have an actual native Webflow e-commerce solution. But right now, to get you started, these dynamic embeds are already helping you out. And there's, like, Shopify has been in the e-commerce game way longer than Webflow has. Okay. We want to help you design your sites, whereas Shopify wants to make sure that your transactions are super secure. Okay, there's money being handled, and right now, since they have it done completely right, well, I mean, they have it done better than us. We want to make sure that you're using their solutions, their tools with your Webflow website first. Okay. Okay, Connor. Okay, last question, Connor. I got a question. Let's say I export the code from a website I make using Webflow. Then I make changes using a text editor directly. Can I import it back? No, you cannot. You cannot import any code, any sites, or any templates, what have you, back into Webflow. Okay, it's only a one-way going out. Okay, so if you make any changes offline, off of Webflow, make sure to replicate that in the designer tool so they're in sync. Okay, and that's all the time I have for you guys. Thank you so much. It's been fun. Hopefully you guys learned something today. Of course I have. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much to Naweed, Connor, web designer, Medio, Alexandra, Uber Geeky, Robert, Anna, Vladimir, and if I missed your name, Jake, Naweed, Illik, all you guys, Alex, jQuery. Thank you guys so much for joining me this week. I want to see you next week, okay? We're going to learn more stuff, and maybe a special guest. We'll see. Thank you guys so much. Sign off notes. Here we go. If you have any account, technical, or billing issues, hit me up at support@webflow.com. Either me, Dave, Waldo, or Will get back to you very, very fast. If you have any design issues, code issues, whatnot, go to forum.webflow.com. We have a huge community of helpful people there that want to see what you're working on and want to help you get to your goals. So do that and show what you're working on. Okay, so much love there. Thank you guys so much. Follow us on Twitter. It's Webflow app, or on Facebook, facebook.com/Webflow. You want to talk to me about all things Tesla, SpaceX, and whatnot, and all the other geeky stuff. I'm on Twitter, twitter.com/thepixelgeek. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And as always, make the web beautiful. All right, see you guys.